your mind, your body, your soul. I love it when you make me feel like I'm in control. We ain't gotta tell no one, let's keep it.
Hey fellow foodies, it's Faye from faysfood.com. Today I'm not going to bring you a new recipe. I'm actually going to show you how to make a cute dessert platter that's a wonderful idea for Valentine's Day. It's very, very easy to make and it looks great obviously, so I'm going to show you how I do it. So we're going to start off with some sugar cookies. I just cut out the dough, baked them off, and then we can decorate them. Just keep in mind you can use your favorite recipe. You can use the boxed mix that comes in the supermarkets, or you can definitely use my recipe that's on the blog. There's also a video for it on my channel. I definitely recommend that route because this cookie is delicious and it never fails. So I also made some royal icing, which is also on the blog. The full recipe's on there. We're gonna just use half of the heart cookie to, we're gonna fill it with the royal icing, and I'm going to use a toothpick to kind of move the icing into spots where it needs more icing. And a lot of these concepts, kind of the basics of how to decorate cookies, I made a few months ago, maybe even last year, a video and a guide, like a post on my blog, full of details about how to decorate sugar cookies. So if you want that, check that out on the blog. I think it's called the Comprehensive Guide to Sugar Cookie Decorating, something like that. So this is kind of just an overview because I've already gone through it. Alright, so once we are happy with the left side, I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle it with some pink sanding sugar. I'm kind of heavy-handed with it. And you want to do this while it's still relatively wet so that it sticks. Alright, and anything that's on the right side, it really won't stick because obviously there's nothing for it to stick to. So we're just going to shake off the excess. And if you have some stubborn sugar that's sticking, use a pastry brush to brush the rest of it off. Alright, now I did let the left side kind of dry up for about 5-10 minutes before I start the right side, just so that when I sugar this side, it doesn't stick to the left. Alright, so I'm just going to do the same thing. And this process is called flooding the cookie. You can kind of tell why we're flooding it with icing. And just do the same thing. Move any icing into a place that you need it to be moved. And once you're happy with it, you can sand the other side. I'm going to go for kind of a contrast look and do the other side with some red sanding sugar. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing and shake off the excess for the whole cookie. And then I'm going to put this on a cooling rack to kind of harden while I work on the other designs. Now, excuse me for this part, I did kind of get in the way of the camera with my arm because it was just set up in a bad spot. But honestly, I'm just having tripod issues, so if you guys want to donate me a good tripod, I'll take it. But anyways, we're going to go for a tie-dye look here. So I'm going to do kind of a wide stripe on the left with some red, another kind of wide stripe near the middle with some white. I'll do some pink, and then I'll finish with some red. If you want to go for like a marble look, I did show you how to do that in the comprehensive guide video. What you're doing with that is you're alternating more times of the colors, and you're kind of doing a thinner stripe, like a tighter stripe, and that will get you like a marble look. This will kind of give you a tie-dye look. But that's the beauty of this platter. You can really customize it how you'd like. You don't have to do things exactly my way. I'm just showing you kind of ideas to maybe spark your creativity with this. Alright, so then you want to take a toothpick once you got all the colors on there, or a needle tool, and then you can just drag the color into the other color. And you keep doing that process with each color. Now you don't want to overdo it, that will kind of muddle the look, but you just want to do it enough so that you get a nice tie-dye look. Okay, and then once you have that finished, you can kind of clean off the sides if you have excess like I do. It's kind of a sloppy job. I was just in a rush to do this, so it doesn't really matter though, because your loved one will appreciate it regardless. Alright, and then you can see we have a tie-dye look, which is what we're looking for. And I'm going to set this on the cooling rack as well. And then we'll work on our third and final look. And this one, I'm just going to pipe the outside with an outline. And then we'll fill it in, or flood the cookie with our same red color. Do the same thing with the toothpick or needle tool. Shake it into place if you need to. Clean off the excess if you need to. And then I'm going to set this on a rack to dry for about 5 or 10 minutes. And then we can use the white icing we used previously. I'm sorry, we don't want to use the same icing. We want to use the thicker royal icing that would be what we first mixed, basically. To write our message. You can write any message, of course, customize it as you please. But the key here is you don't want to use the same flooding icing because you cannot write with that. I have tried to when I first started out. It does not work. That's a mistake you want to avoid. Okay. So I'm just going to write simple message, I love you. You can write any message you'd like I said. It's the beauty of sugar cookies. You can really customize it as you please. Now, if you're not a sugar cookie fan, I don't know what to do with you. But seriously though, what you can do is make some chocolate chip cookies. Use your favorite recipe or use my recipe, which is also on the blog. And after they're done baking and they sit for a bit and they firm up a bit, what you can do is use a cookie cutter to cut out some hearts of the cookies. So you want to make them big enough so that works, obviously. And then you can kind of decorate them with some chocolate, maybe some stripe some chocolate on there. Do whatever design you'd like. That would be wonderful as well. So anyways, we're going to let these cookies kind of harden up, dry out for basically overnight while we work on everything else. I do make sure to cover it with aluminum, but put it into a pan that's kind of deep enough so that the aluminum won't touch the design. Don't want the cookies to dry out. Anyways, so the next thing we're gonna make is some chocolate dipped strawberries. You want to be sure to wash the strawberries off really well. Make sure they're super dry before you begin, and make sure to use ripe strawberries, not underripe, not overripe, just ripe, bright red strawberries. Alright, next is the chocolate. I'm using some Ghirardelli chocolate, a mix of semi-sweet and bittersweet. You can use any kind you'd like. Make sure it's a good high quality chocolate that will melt well. And you can use any kind, 60%, 70%, dark chocolate, milk chocolate, whatever you'd like, really. Just understand that they melt at different points. Some melt easier than others. So when I found that my chocolate was a little too thick for my liking, what I did is I added in a bit of vegetable oil. And that's going to do two things. It's going to thin it down, but it's also going to give it some shine, which is never a bad thing. It doesn't really affect the flavor, so don't worry about that. But I mean, there's millions of tutorials on YouTube and online in general of how to dip strawberries. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but you really just want to dip it in there. I like to have a little bit of the strawberry top showing, so I don't really mind that. And then you want to kind of shake off the excess. And then when you place it on the parchment, you want to be sure to kind of push it gently forward so that the excess is kind of becoming one with the bottom. I don't know how to explain it, but once you do it, you'll understand what I'm saying. True story, I used to have to do a lot of these when I was working at a hotel. Whenever we would have banquets and weddings, it was just freaking covered strawberries galore. It was crazy. Alright, so now I'm going to take some of the melted chocolate that I already had. I'm just going to put it in a storage bag. There's no need to waste pastry bags. If you don't feel confident in using a storage bag, go ahead and use a pastry bag. But the key with storage bags is you want to use one that's relatively strong enough. Don't use the chocolate when it's super hot. It will break the bag. And don't put way too much pressure on there. It will also break the bag. So as long as you do that, it should be fine. And I'm just going to stripe the chocolate on there. Nothing too fancy. Alright, and then I'm going to melt some white chocolate. Now, this is kind of a beginner, user-friendly tutorial. So you might just want to ignore what I'm about to say. But with white chocolate, it's really hard to melt. I've found. So what I like to do, or what we used to do in the hotel, was we used some cocoa butter and we just added that back into the white chocolate, and that really helped melt it beautifully. Obviously, a lot of people can't get cocoa butter just randomly. So what you can also do is put oil in there, and that works just fine as well. So I'm just going to stripe on the white chocolate now. I'm going to do 4 different things. I'm doing white chocolate, the bittersweet chocolate, and then I'm going to color some white chocolate red, like so. And then I'm going to color another bowl of white chocolate pink. Like I said, you don't have to go crazy here. You can do as you wish. If you want them all white chocolate or all chocolate, you can do that as well. Okay, so once we have all the chocolates striped with more chocolate, you really want to make sure to set this in a cool area of your house to let this really harden up, about 15 to 20 minutes. Key is don't put it in the fridge, it will sweat. I've found even the freezer, it will sweat out. Chocolate does not like the fridge, so just a nice cool area of your house will do. Alright, anyway, so I had a slab of brownies that freeze notoriously well in the freezer. I let it thaw out for a bit, maybe 20 minutes. And I'm taking these cookie cutters I have, these other kind of Valentine's Day themed cookie cutters, and I'm going to cut out some brownies. This is a very easy thing you can do because you can just use the box brownie mix. You can use your favorite recipe. I will be sharing my recipe pretty soon, so watch out for that. But brownies are so incredibly delicious and easy to make, so this is also a wonderful option for your platter. Now I'm doing a mix of stuff, but you can obviously, if you want to do all cookies, you can do that. If you want to do all brownies, you can do that. You know, that's the beauty of cooking and baking, is it's really about creativity. It's about it leaves you a lot of wiggle room to get creative. So you can see I have my hearts cut out, and I'm going to use the same chocolate I had on hand, and I'm just going to drizzle some on there. And if you find that there's some chunks that still haven't melted, or they firmed up a bit while you've been working on other things, just clean out the tip every now and then and continue to go along. Alright, so now it's time for the fun part. we can assemble the platter. Now I'm just using a small white plate. If you have like a big white platter, that would work wonderfully. I just don't, but this will work just fine as well. And of course, use your discretion to decorate this plate how you'd like. But I'm gonna just show you my way to kind of give you an idea of what I like. So I'm just gonna put the cookies in the center kind of area because A, this plate is small, and B, the cookies are huge. And this is the next day, by the way, because we really wanted the cookies to harden up. And I'm gonna put the brownies on there. So how it worked is I made the cookies on day 1. I let them kind of harden up overnight. And then on day 2, since it was kind of a quick task, I did the strawberries and the brownies. Because the strawberries, I find that you really do want to do them the same day that you're going to serve them. Alright, so I just like contrast of size and color on the plate. And you don't have to do this, but if you want to go extra with it, you can go ahead and use that same red chocolate that we melted previously, and you can write a nice little message on there. Maybe a name, a message, whatever. So that is our platter, beautiful for Valentine's Day or any day that you want to show your loved one some love. I hope you guys like this video. Give it a thumbs up if you do. Please comment below if you have any comments or questions. I love interacting with you guys. I truly do appreciate the support more than I can express. Go to facefood.com for that comprehensive guide. There will be a post on this as well. The recipes that I mentioned previously are on there as well. Make sure you comment below. I love interacting with you guys. And please make sure to subscribe to this channel for more great videos on the way. Hit that notification bell so you can get notified when I upload. And until next time, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day.
I've been reading you to figure what you're down for. I wanna figure out to make it come around. But we should quit the game and settle things right here, right now. I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about all the things you do. I wanna take you from it.